Hello there everyone and welcome back. We finally, eventually, dealt with the damn blockade that the Mukay were having issues with here in Lucille 8760, and I gotta say, holy crap, they expanded their territory quite a bit since we last left off. I checked before and I'm pretty certain this long nose was not there before. Although we do have some new ships, we rebuilt our fleet to a vague extent, and I had a lot of thinking on what I should do next. And what I'm thinking I might do is try and deal with them pushing forward on these planets here, if at all possible. Give me a little more breathing room, even though that may be a little excessive. I think, was it Delta Trireme and Rio Trireme were the two planets that were recently conquered. I don't know. Actually, I thought they were a lot closer before, but I think that's what I want to experiment with. See if I can push back their territory on Rio Trireme. That may be a fatal mistake since we tried that before after all, when we did our endeavor to try and go explore the Drenkin territory and try and find our homeworld, which is in Alpha Uxor. Nonetheless, that's my strategy. We're going to stick with it, and it shouldn't go too terribly bad for me. I'm almost certain of that since we kind of went through it before. I just need the resources to at least increase my fuel reserve for when I do go to Alpha Uxor, since that's ultimately what I really would like to do. Although with that said, I am just curious for these objectives is know where they want me to explore. Travel to Delta Horos and rescue a stuck Mukay ship there. Like that, I definitely am willing to help with. Find out why the Drekton are attacking our races. We have a vague idea what that is. And there was another objective. Find ice worlds in the Wendigo cluster and Delta Horos. Let me see about finding those regions, so at least I have a good sense of where I should go. Beta Horos, was that the place? Delta Horos, so at least it's roughly in this area. Where are you? Delta Horos, so there's where our detour will take us if we were to go help the scientists. And now we have to find some kind of cluster, which I have no idea. Oh, the Wendigo cluster. Is that it? I want to double check to be sure. At least for future episodes and future endeavors. Yeah, just the Wendigo cluster. So both those objectives are in the same area. So I'm going to have to keep that in mind. Even one of them's already in territory, so I would argue I may not need to go there. Well, most of them are already in the Wendigo cluster. So maybe I should explore them all just for the sake of it. It'll be a good opportunity to rebuild, or was it, restock up on supply and resources, I suppose. Since I'm expecting going to Rio Trireme is going to leave me a little bit bruised and battered, I think it's a safe assumption. And otherwise, there was another objective. Oh yeah, trying to find hyperdrives for the humans, or for Earth there. So that way they can assist in our endeavor to fight back the Scryve with some Earth cruisers and possibly colonize some nearby systems. There's a lot of potential to be had there. But let's push on forward. We're going back to war, and actually, yeah, you're going to get to see the Mukay Grasper in action. We have two of them to spare, and they have a lot of health on them. They basically have double the help of the Taiwan defenders, basically. And a lot of that is because they're considered a melee unit. I got to look at all the factions, or at least all the main races in the skirmish mode, so I have a good sense of what they're doing. It's just this Rohilde, was it I'm gonna stop. This Rohibde defender, anyway, that was not in the skirmish mode. I didn't have access to it, so this is the mystery ship that we're trying to figure out little by little. But all these other ships, and just the Terran cruiser, maybe not this colony ship, I keep calling it a colony ship, mind you, since it keeps reminding me of that, is the only exception. So Rio Trireme, let's see if we can push back their occupation on the system. That is the plan. Oh boy. Oh, this is a straight battle cruiser too. And it did not hesitate for an instant, good god. That might be a scary ship to fight.
It is the humans, still alive and squealing, I see.
Yep, and we came to push you out.
Longer than I would have thought.
We're interested in your history. We kind of already know that, so let's just finish this dialogue. I was hoping for maybe something else. Not while you still exist. Now, I am terrified to hell with this cursed thing. Is it really a good idea to try out the Mukay on a battleship? You'll see why in a moment. This thing has like an AoE flat cannon that damages anything near it, and the frontal cannon is terrifying. You sought the death ray. Oh god, really? Do you have to put me right in front of this cursed thing? I do not want to be in front of this thing for the life of me. It's really slow to turn, mind you, so I don't want to get in front of it. Ideally, please don't shoot. I would love it if you don't shoot me. Although, I'm trying to lay my minefield so I can do damage to you, and it's not working very well. Oh god, there's why I am terrified. I did some damage to it. The flak did a notable amount as well, but... ah, damn it. I flew right into that flak, didn't I? This is a little more problematic than I would like, mainly because of the short range I have on this weaponry. At least we're in this blind spot. I'm having a hard time hitting the cursed thing, though. And that flak is amazing for destroying my turret, too. Good god. We did dodge that. Maybe what I should do is try and grab some of these power-ups. It'll boost up my crew. Yep, 15% boost, although it didn't really help me all that much. But I can use it for later on for the rest of this fight. And I'm curious... hold that thought. We just got obliterated. I am rapidly starting to regret trying to go up against this thing. The Taiwan are not quite ideal just because of that sheer short range, good god. And my point defense was pretty abysmal. And I hate to gamble it all on my Terran Soul Eater, because that would be a nightmare. Although the flak may not be as terrifying as I think, let's try the Mukay, especially with this convenient positioning. So grab it, murder it. The flak is hurting a lot, mind you, but I want to argue we did more damage to it than it did to us. And there's our other ability, which is kind of like, or just as self-explanatory as it is. It basically just puts a gas or oil sludge on there. Ooh, and it does damage too. That was convenient. Incredibly painful, though. I do not want to fight another battleship like that. But good god, look. I succeeded in my task. We already pushed back this one little planet, but I don't think I want to go to Delta Trireme just yet. But now, my my goal is already accomplished, so what the hell do we do with all this free time, I want to argue. Huh. And there's something I wasn't aware of. It grays out all the systems I already explored, so that's actually really convenient for me, for the sake of exploration. So we can knock out the systems we've gone to one by one, or at least avoid repeat visits unless we have to. Like Altair, I still would love to solve their little squabbling, but it seems like it's going to ultimately result to me killing one of them off, which is something I'm not really excited to do. We'll just say that. I'm not really interested in doing that, but since we're here, let's try and grab a couple resources. Maybe gather more resources by at least pushing back some Scryve ships, but I don't feel comfortable enough to go explore and go into the Drek 10 territory yet. And we have critters, and that looked like it was reacting to me, so I'm worried about possible hostilities later on. If they start to fight me, then I'm gonna have to deal with them. Oh wait, there was something there. Oh, that's a worm, isn't it? I've been through that before. I am not having a repeat of that game eaten by a worm, a sarlacc, as it were. No, thank you. Let's go to the rest of the system quickly as possible and hopefully get a... I don't like the idea of wind. It's possible I might land it, but it's only 5 crew members and I could make it. Could is a broad term, needless to say. Let's try it once. Okay, we succeeded. It looked like I was horribly off course though, I'm not gonna lie. But with the extra storage space, we should be able to pick this all up in one trip. So this easily makes it worth it. I'm terrified what that moon is, mind you. If it's like an alien critter or not. Since it didn't mention anything about critters before and I flipped myself over. Let's try this again. This looks like pretty exotic components, mind you. Even Krypton in case we have to deal with Bizarro, I suppose. Or the Injustice version of Superman, there's always that possibility, right? We're prepared for pretty much anything at this point. Now, what is my plan for after I'm done exploring the system? Well, I'm kind of hoping to find some hyperdrive components. I just don't have the slightest idea where to find them, if I were to be perfectly honest. Part of me hopes that maybe we can salvage it off the ships we're destroying, but that seems highly unlikely since we would have probably gotten one by now, due to the sheer amount of Drekton and Scryve ships we already destroyed, mind you. So I don't think that's a possibility, if I were to be honest, but I would love to pursue that. Otherwise, we're going to be heavily reliant on just shipwrecks on these planets, which involves a lot of exploration if we are going to find them. And even then, I wonder what happens or how limited we're going to be once we do find said hyperdrive. We'll only be able to get one ship out of it, and then we have to choose whether we want a colony ship or a cruiser to support us. The smarter choice probably would be a colony, but it remains to be seen what kind of bonuses I get if I do that, besides maybe more refueling points, as well as additional places to go to for resupplying my crew. That's the only thing I can really think of, honestly. What's over here? No anomaly, but it looks like we got some kind of ion storms to be mindful of. This looks simple enough. I have yet to find a spot that involves multiple landing zones, oddly enough. It seems like it's always one. And I wonder if that's an upgrade limitation thing. I couldn't tell you for the life of me. But we are getting a lot of resources out of this. It's just a question of how valuable it truly is, or if it's just conventional, just auto sell. And at least I don't have to worry about well, I got distracted a little bit because I saw the glowing blue lights following behind me. Now I completely lost what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I was going to say, at least we don't have to worry about doing multiple trips on a single planet. At least not for a long, long while. It is likely to happen at some point, unlike a mineral-rich world, if I have to guess. But this is coming along good, and there's no other Scryve to kind of ruin our day. Oh, we got an Intimidator though. Casanti. We have yet to introduce ourselves, so might as well go through it the proper way.
Leave your vessel now.
Yeah, we already know what this is, so I'm just gonna rush through it. I can't remember what I picked, mind you, but I'm gonna rush through it anyway, since we know they're gonna try and shoot us.
Gosh, we're the Kazanti, as your people will soon learn.
Yeah. You're
space,
scavengers. We're seeking allies.
Yeah, if you're new around here, look. Here's how the Scryve Empire are the worst thing to ever happen to you. They'll wipe out.
Now, I'm just curious, why exactly the Scryve are surviving, or not the Scryve, why the Kazanti are not being subjugated by the Scryve? Is it because they avoid them completely, or they don't actually have a planet to call their own? That might explain why. Their homeworld could have possibly been destroyed by a Scryve. That would be an interesting dialogue to why they're so desperate for scavenging and just prey on the weak. We'll just be going. Go to hell.
Ah, fair enough. We'll just...
Now, it's only a single ship, and we lost a lot of crew on this poor Mukay. But at least I'm heading... At some point, I'm going to make my way back over to resupply, so that's not an issue. I gotta remember, this thing has a repulsor. It's going to push my ship away, so... Really, the Mukay are a bad choice because of that, as well as its defender. So I'm going to be relying heavily on my cruiser and the Taiwan. I'm really thinking I should take the I don't know what kind of class of ship this is, mind you, the Terran Soul. I'm going to say it's a battleship just because of the sheer hit points it has. Since I don't want to insult it anymore by calling it a colony ship. And I do have point defense for the mines. Maybe that'll work out well for me. Although that was a bad shot, mind you. Oh, it actually is hurting me with the repulsor, too. That's something I'm going to have to be mindful of. Oh god. If my nukes are not going to have a good chance of killing this thing, am I going to be stuck with this thing for the entire time, or... What I'm wanting to know is, can I switch out ships, is what I'm ultimately asking. Since it doesn't want to stay up here, and I have no idea, pause, secondary, and steering, so I may be stuck with my capital ship for this. I didn't realize how mobile this cursed thing would be. And you know that's going to be a nightmare to deal with, trying to kill this thing. At least it can't reliably do damage to me, so I may have chose a horrible stalemate situation. At least my point defense have a good chance of killing it, but... what the hell do I do? Besides ram into a plant, that would be kind of nice. Or a moon, with that said. I learned my lesson already. Now how do we correct this mistake? Well, personally, I could try and wedge it into a corner. Since my nukes don't quite have the range I need. Ooh, if they keep landing into the plants, that helps some. Come on, I'm coming for you. Yeah, that nuke has no chance in hell to hit the damn thing. I may have made a horrible choice here. Just gonna be mindful I'm losing all my power, and this plant field is not a good situation for me. So how the hell do I kill this thing? Since even colliding into the plants isn't actually doing damage, mind you. Ah, dang it. I was hoping my point defense could get close enough. At least kill it through point defense since it can't dodge. Maybe what I should do is get these power-ups for more speed. Yeah, that's an alternative. It's going to be playing the long con, mind you. Oh. We win by default. I am not doing that again. That seems like it was been incredibly boring if they didn't kill themselves. Ooh, we got an unidentified object, which... oh, it's another defender. I'm not going to try and pronounce it. Not with the name not visible to me. But we got another defender we can salvage. I like it. More ships the merrier, in all honesty. And those things were damn impactful. Good God. Oh, let's be mindful of these critters being hostile. Oh my God, there's like 64 of them. That's not at all a specific number, is it now?
Wrecked ship, Captain. We'll see if we can get this thing flying again.
Now, what about the hyperdrive? Because that was also what I theorized on doing to get hyperdrive components for Earth. But if we're going to salvage the whole ship, that makes it a little bit difficult, does it now? Oh, let's not flip ourselves, please. That would kind of be nice. Let's get the rest of the ethanol. Really? It seems like there's a lot more plants than I initially realized here, but it's still going to be good resources. I'm still happy for the endeavor, but when I have a bunch of objectives suggesting I explore more worlds, it's going to be a little bit samey, I feel like. So I think that's what I'm planning on doing once we're done here, is make preparations to go to the Drekthon homeworld, Alpha Uxor. And at least that will spice things up. And it hopefully will help potentially progress this story for us quite a bit. Especially if there's a way for us to actually free... that's an odd way to say it, because I'm assuming if we can break the hold the Scryve have on the Drekthon, then they could help us. Hell, StarControl 3 I think allowed me to turn all the enemy factions against the antagonists eventually, since they all had their own little unique problems, part of which, but damn it, why am I having a hard time saying which? I don't know. Part of which was instigated by the antagonist there to kind of force them to join their alliance, most of which they weren't even aware if they were the cause of it. So it had an interesting dynamic there. And it's so hot apparently, 2 crew a second, so I don't think I want that. We are going to have to look and see if there are upgrade options for my lander, mind you, for those kind of planets. Since I feel like it was kind of encouraging me for the sake of a pacifist type route to sacrifice a lot of my crew members to get that alloy I needed. I forget what the antimatter was, mind you. To at least power up the Mukay shields, which is not something I was really interested in. And I don't think I want to attempt this for the same reason. Sure, it's only half a crew a second, but that just means I only get, what, 6 seconds? Well, actually 10 seconds about before my lander gets completely destroyed. Which isn't really a whole lot of time for a bunch of resources, mind you. It might have been arguably worth it for the Mukay objective to get the power up their progenitor shield. Nonetheless, this looks safe. We got gas cloud and a lightning field to be mindful of. Let's get going. Come on, don't crash outside the green. I wonder what it is with the... Oh god. I was talking so much I almost didn't even notice you bugger. Trying to ram me. It reacts to me, so I'm worried it might try and kill me at some point. So let's be mindful of that. We know the worms are hostile because it literally ate my lander. Let's try not to have that happen again, please. And they blend in kind of well with the haze, the fog as it were, too, a little bit. Which can make it a little problematic when I'm trying to sprint on through. That's another world done. I can't remember. Did I explore those two? I don't think I did, so let's go there, and then it's just whatever's down at the bottom that I missed when I was doing my pass around. Ooh, this looks mineral rich. It has a lot of different components, mind you. Not really worth it. I wonder if I even already explored that plant, mind you. And you're a gas giant, so we already know the answer there. You cannot be explored. 3 more plants and we're done here, and... Oh god, more Casanti. Well, I learned my lesson from last time. Let's deal with them quickly.
A communications channel? What are you gonna do? Beg for your lives?
Well, I didn't have a choice to fire at will.
Of these.
Nope, we just want to see the face whoever we were killing. Sure, it's very savage, isn't it? Like the Scryve had been implying we were, but it doesn't really give us much of a choice, and we already ask, who are you? Now, I learned my lesson. The big question is what's actually good against this cursed thing. With that said, the Taiwan have an incredibly short range, and this Intimidator is really damn good at close range with the repulsor and the minefield. And I might have a really hard time with this defender here. I'll try a Taiwan, see if we get lucky. Gotta be mindful of that proximity field, but at least we can play around it some. Let's get the boost. More speed is welcome. I wonder what the proximity range is for these mines, and that is what's terrifying. Having that mine explode when we get pushed into it. In all honesty, I don't think I have a good ship to deal with these cursed things. But increasing my speed and acceleration might help a ton. So maybe the Casanti are just really damn irritating in general. But this is an opportunity to see how many drones I can stack up. And outmaneuver the cursed thing. Unfortunately, maybe I put all my eggs in one basket there. But this thing is taking hits. I just don't know from what, if I were to be honest. Ooh, I don't know what happened there, but it got pushed out of bounds, which is something the old StarControl games didn't actually have. You just go big... Actually, if you go at the edge of the map, you just go teleport over onto the other side. So it's interesting that there's a mechanic to just get yourself pincered into a corner. A circular corner, mind you, so it's not as terrible as it may seem, as opposed to like a square type of edge, where you're kind of really stuck in there. But we have 2 more worlds to explore. Let's go grab them. Cash in. I still have plenty of fuel, mind you, but since we're heading towards enemy territory, I doubt we're going to have a refueling station anywhere nearby. Ooh, but I like all these resources. A lot of resources to be gathered. Let's grab them. All in all, at least I learned something important about the game mechanics, which actually I'm really happy about, that the galaxy gets influenced based on what we do, and of course just time going by in general. So if I spend too much time just exploring everything, the Scryve are just going to assimilate or conquer Earth and destroy everything, and chances are our campaign's over. So we do still need to be diligent, and I haven't really been paying attention to actually how many days went by during our time here in this system. Now we're just missing potassium. Where are you? In all honesty, I should just grab a bunch of bananas if I need potassium, right? I shouldn't need 30 units that are as big as this shuttle. Just get 1,000 bananas instead, we should be good. Oh well. There's one more and we're done, I think. Oops, sorry, I hit like the stand of the mic if that went through. Oh, this will be nice and quick. It's a good haul overall. Just look at that. 627 resources. I think that's the most we gathered so far. At least in a single system. So I'm happy for it. It should make for a lot of money, and we destroyed a handful of ships for even more resources. And the priority is simple. I already talked about it before. I may go to the Mukay system to kind of refuel on the crew. It certainly wouldn't hurt. I don't think I want a really fragile Mukay battleship, or Grasper is what it's actually called, since they need to get really damn close. But it's this job, it was just painful considering. Vegetative, huh? Oh well, we're done here. Actually, I could go straight to the Mukay system. I don't need to go back to Earth since there's nothing to really report back, since we failed to get ourselves a dang warp drive. Although, like I said before, since all the wrecks we've been gathering, or all the wrecks we've been finding, we basically assimilate them into our fleet. Which doesn't help me to salvage said hyperdrive, does it now? So it's a little inconvenient there, if only slightly. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to Mukay space, then refuel and recrew over to Taiwan, and then we'll make our dive into Alpha Uxor. I think that's what I want to do. That's going to be my next objective. We just need... How much crew did we actually lose? I know the Grasper took a big beating. A little bit on the Terran Soul, a little bit on the Taiwan Defenders, so damage has been incredibly minor. Oh, I'm wrong. We did lose a Taiwan Defender from that dang battleship, and it was painful. So maybe I can rebuild or simulate another ship. Oh, we got an Intimidator following us too. But guess what? It can't actually chase us this time around, so these booster upgrades are actually paying off nicely. I do need to be mindful of my dang... What is it? Fuel reserves. I'm just wondering how close I am to Beta Pavo. Actually, I should just mark a waypoint there too, since I'm probably going to be going back quite often in case there's updates. Since if I'm going to get any updates from these different races, the Taiwan and the Mukay, those are probably the places I would go to. And we are going to have enough fuel at least. And good God, it takes up a good portion of the map too, doesn't it? At least it's a surefire way to not miss it, good God. Overall though, I'm still happy with what we accomplished. It was just a lot shorter, a lot quicker than I realized. It still was a devastating or very scary adversary though with the battleship. That could have been nightmarish if I didn't know what I was up against ahead of time. But let's dock, let's refuel, recrew, maybe get ourselves a new ship. All in all, let's focus on the fuel reserves, though.
Many playful splashes, Federation members.
I just want to... Aw, can't I really refuel?
Oh, how nice. Official, unofficial. It's a bit of a juggling act.
Aw, guess not, damn it. So much for that.
Is there anything else?
We have some questions concerning our lives.
What did you want to discuss?
Okay, there it is. I was wondering where that was. I don't think I'll ask for any more ships. I want to at least seem generous, although it's probably the right idea to just ask for free ships after all. Let's sell all the conventionals. What are we at? Not a too terribly bad haul. Although destroying all those ships from the previous episode was actually a lot more profitable for me, since I think we just barely were just under 16,000. But it's enough. It is enough for the portable fuel reserve. I'm not going to get my extra ship, mind you, but do we have... Ooh, heat. This is what I was looking for. Heat shield, heat resistance, which allow lander to become airborne. Well, we already know that. Enhanced collider. Increases your lander's resource collection range. Ooh. There's a lot of stuff I like to get here. Oh, for toxic resistance too. Of course, surprisingly, it's all unlocked after I get into the Federation with the Mukay, not when I need it for that shield generator. Since I think this would have made the difference. It just doesn't seem like it at first, mind you. But it's good to know that's there. What else do we have access to? Cargo pod. That's not a big deal just yet, but it's good to know that's there. And what about the helm? Sensors, we can enhance sensors. And more hyperdrive accelerators is always convenient, but can I get away with buying another ship? Consider what's going to be going on here. I can get either another Grasper or another Defender. How do I feel on that? I think 2 Graspers is just fine as is, since they're kind of a specialist unit. I feel like they're a specialist unit because of their melee potential. Going up against the battleship, while was the winning strategy, probably, well, to be fair, the Taiwan aren't much better. Although the Defender here could be good, it can do such ridiculous damage, maybe it can just eviscerate those battleships before the flak even does any real damage to it. I'm hoping anyway. And I don't want to dare attempt a Terran Soul against the battleship since I kinda need it for this campaign after all. I think I go with another Defender, Taiwan Defender that is. Although the Mukay Grasper is really damn cheap, isn't it? In comparison. I am really liking the orbitals, the turrets there some. And the Mukay Grasper is going to have a really hard time against a lot of the smaller ships we're going to encounter. Namely, the Intimidator. So that's another ship to the roster. We still got, what, another 30 points left over. So we're looking good. I just need a refuel. I kind of forgot that little fact, didn't I, damn it? I keep forgetting about that. Let's see, there's nothing available to buy right now. Oh, I have no money, that's why. So we're gonna have to sell. What can I sell that I'm okay with? I know that I need neutronium for any Lexite type facilities, maybe? At least I did for the Interceptor anyway, so I'm hanging on to that. I could sell the uranium, the polonium. I am going to need more resources since I didn't think this through, especially with my new resource capacity, mind you. How much fuel will this give me? That almost fills me up. I think that's good enough. I'm probably still going to have to explore a world, though, or get into a fight. If I want to at least have some extra fuel reserves for when I head back to Earth. With that said, is there a planet that I have yet to explore? We'll go to Wolf 359. We'll quickly explore that. Grab a little bit of fuel or resources specifically so I can refuel my supply and have a little bit extra. But I think I'm comfortable with this fleet. And I gotta keep in mind, I should look at the opportunity to recrew my Taiwan fleet, since we are literally flying right into one of its territory. Let's go to Bernard Star for the crew. Get prepared for this big endeavor. It may seem like a whole episode's worth of not a lot happening, but this is all preparation. It is a role-playing game too, so it's kind of to be expected to a vague extent, isn't it? And is it just me, or did I just notice that the spinning circles, they're actually not attached to an actual ship? Am I just going crazy? Now, where the hell is actually the Taiwan world, with that said? Oh, I think maybe it's color-coded, that might explain it? A Taiwan Unveiler, what the hell are you? It's not the most convenient trying to figure out what's inhabited by Taiwan, mind you. So I'm gonna have to look very carefully, see if it's some color coding thing with the wording, since I saw the difference.
Our new best friends have stopped by to hang out.
Can we get some fuel?
Of course, best friend.
Oh, if only I knew that ahead of time, huh?
Bye.
Well, I think that solves our problem, vaguely. Since this is just as good a branching off point to Alpha Uxor. It's not going to be pretty. What am I most afraid of when I go up against it into the Scryve space? Really? Probably the battleship, but with those power-ups to increase my acceleration, that becomes a lot less of a problem just due to how responsive my ships become. Although Taiwan Defender has really short range, so I'm relying heavily on the orbital satellites, the turrets, to kind of do the damage. And I do have these defenders to kind of dive bomb in, but they can only, I don't think they can reliably get in there quickly enough without some acceleration upgrades first. So a lot of it is like build up before I dive in on that thing. And the Grasper, while capable, still took on a ridiculous amount of damage as a result, so I think I might withhold on that some. I think I'm ready though to go in there. I'm not liking the prospect, mind you, but I think I'm ready. we're gonna try to delve deep into Alpha Uxor, and I'm hoping my fuel reserves can handle it. I just gotta make sure not to explore all these planets, and also probably be open-minded about maybe going through the system. Might save me more fuel than trying to go around it. That's something I'll need to be aware of. This is gonna be scary.